what you traditionally think of that's going on in the market that you think is going to make you money, generally speaking, there's something in there that makes it the poison pill?
So if you can get to the point where you understand how to operate a Web3 wallet, which is a big if, because cryptography stuff and pass keys and private keys and all that stuff, that's difficult for a lot of people to get. But once you have that set up and you've got your backup mechanism done, actually logging into a website with a Web3 wallet is a much better experience than usernames and passwords, because you're just clicking, yes, I connect to my wallet, which is here in the browser. And then you go to a web page and it says, here's a thing to vote on. And you read it like a normal human would read it. And you say, I agree or I disagree. And here's my shares voting against or for. And it's, most voting, most major votes, unless it's like a big watershed direction of the organization type deal, 10-second, 30-second experience, depending on how fast you read,
That would be great. I just think that what you traditionally think of that's going on in the market that you think is going to make you money, generally speaking, there's something in there that makes it the poison pill, right? And so for a DAO to manage money, like to give my money to somebody who then, if it was like I want my directions to be driven by the whole bus, that's not going to work, right? The whole idea behind having an active manager buying it based on what I would like to call, I like to call it the Constitution. Their prospectus literally draws out the reasons and what they do and why they would buy a thing. If you got a room filled of, you find a room full of people like us to try to, we're going to buy IBM. No, I don't want to buy IBM. They made the mistake of not going from the typewriter fast.
But see, that's not how a DAO operates, though. DAOs, they can. But DAOs,
well, that's what I'm hoping they don't.
They don't.
I hope they won't.
In practice, they do not.
Because that's just another sucker bet. Yeah, I'll bet against that DAO anytime and go short against it. Thank you very much. But,
so it's an organization like anything else. What they usually start out with a broad mandate. It's actually if you want to get super academic about it, I helped advise and co-author a white paper about 7 months ago. Do the math, what I was doing then, about a concept called futarchy. So it was originally pioneered by an academic named Robin Hanson and enhanced greatly by Vitalik Buterin. So if you Google futarchy white papers, you'll see my name and those two other people's names. It's not been written about a lot, but it's the idea that you can basically do capitalistic governance with large groups of people. And the idea is that not that you have a direct democracy on everything, it's that you have the ability to revert to direct democracy whenever it's important, but you still allow autonomy and daily decision making to the core team when it's important for that to happen, right? So DAOs typically have a core team, doesn't tend to get much bigger than 15 people. If it gets bigger than 15 people, it breaks off into sub-DAOs with sub-governance and other things. And there's usually at the center of it about 3 people that are responsible for every major decision. But there are mechanisms within DAOs, like this is one of the things we did some videos on, the Moloch DAO. You can go back on our channel and look at this. There's usually something called a rage quit mode. So if you've got a controversial decision that's made by the core team or made by the core advisors, the core governance, you can have people who only have a financial stake in things. They can do a thing called rage quit, and and that means they're turning their tokens in, and they get a portion of the treasury based on what they're owed pro rata. And if more than this threshold can be dynamic depending on how you've set up the organization, more than a certain threshold rage quit after a key decision is made, the decision gets reverted and everything goes back to where it was before that decision was made.
Big veto, right?
Yeah, it's basically a populist veto power. Hey, thanks for watching The Merge. We've got a ton more stuff for you to watch on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. Check us out.